Go ahead, Ms. Hester.
Oh, nah, I'm the 18-wheeler. And usually I don't have any difficulty following anybody. But I don't know what else needs to be said. But I'm going to say one or two things. And as I told Councilman Carter, I've been taking copious notes. Got 3 pages and I write big, so it's not even going to take me 5 minutes to say this. And I'm going to say it. This isn't a new thing. This isn't an isolated incident. As Jerome said, it's historical. I came down here for the Essence Fest and to see my husband and son who live here while my daughter and I live in Missouri. I have better things to do with my time. I'd like to go eat lunch with my friends. I just got out of the hospital 3 days ago with all kinds of chronic conditions brought on by the advocacy I did here for years. It stole my health, it stole my wealth, my sanity sometimes. And as you know, Chief, I've been on the wrong side of law enforcement more than one time. I'm talking about something, not something somebody told me, but something I have experienced myself. And I wasn't breaking any laws. I was simply fighting for equity and education for our children. But whenever there's a fight to be had for justice, I'm going to be there, vacation or not. And as I was driving over here from Kenner and it's bad weather on the interstate, I said, this is like Bull Connor, as I drove across Metairie, Harry Lee. But I'm more afraid when a black police officer stops me than I am of the criminal. So when you talk about restoring confidence, that presupposes we ever had any confidence in you guys to begin with, which we did not. So I won't get excited. I'm going to try to read off this paper. And as I hit the point, I'm going to draw a red line through it, so I'll be 5 minutes. It's not just scary for the children. It's scary for adults as well. Because we could have been killed in front of the children. They could have been killed in front of us. And then we are left with the task to explain to the children, once again, after 300 or 400 years of slavery and segregation and racial profiling, this is nothing. We're not talking about anything new here. This is old. We are a country of laws, not of men. And the police officers cannot hide behind a badge. If they break the law, they ought to be held accountable, period. Y'all really don't want me to move back to Louisiana, I know. So, every council member should be sitting up there. This is a very critical issue. And when we start with, and I don't know why they're not here, and I'm glad you joined, Ms. Hedge-Morrell. I'm glad you joined us. Even though it affects primarily the black community, and now it will be Hispanic or people of color, we're one city, or at least we're supposed to be. We never was, but at least hopefully that's the goal that we're striving towards. I have to disagree with you, and I've called Chief Riley personally on many matters, and he's been responsive. But he knows so well that 90-something% of his police officers are not out there doing the right thing. Now let's keep it real. Come on now, let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Marlon DeFillo, where's Marlon? Good friend of mine. He was the best man in my wedding, and his wife was the best, whatever, you know, what you call it. It's been so long, I forgot what you call it. I've known Marlon since I was in college, and I've been out of college many a day. He knows me very well. I have his cell number, I have his cell number. And I don't call them every day. Rarely do I call them, but when I call them, they know it's a critical issue. I called him when I was here a few weeks ago. Some police officers went to my friend's house, could have killed an innocent 16-year-old and his uncle, but they were at the wrong house. And they didn't wait for the people to tell them. They just want to slam you against the car and break your teeth out and don't even listen to you. And I'm sorry Marlon Guzman left because I done been in that jail too. And it's not fit for humans. So how long are we going to continue to rehearse this problem and talk about it? It's time for action. These sham committees I was here when LaVon Jones was killed over there at Rat Zoo and Scott Cowan chaired the committee. When the people on the committees don't look like us and don't have our experience, and even if they look like us sometimes, like those two gentlemen you brought up here a minute ago, and not casting any aspersions on them, the committee is only as good as the members. And many of them are sham committees, depending on who selects them. I'd be happy to come down and be on a citizen review. I'll fly in for that. So, OMI, public integrity, fox guarding the chicken coop. And like Mr. Smith said, with these renegade officers, and there are many, every one of those complaints against them ought to be reopened. And I wish the psychologist was here today. Not only do they need psychological examinations, they need psychiatric examinations. Because for some of them, for people like Antoinette Frank to ever be chosen, the process is flawed. Let me talk to them. Let me psychologically examine them. Wouldn't take me but 5 minutes to know if they were crazy or not. Now, I'm not crazy. Sometimes I play crazy on TV, but I'm not crazy. All right. So what are we going to do? That's my favorite line. What is we going to do now? When everything is said and done and the dust settles, is it going to be swept under the rug again? When we come to this podium and say these are the kinds of things that need to be done, as you're going to talk about what your constituents, some of their questions and concerns are, and the rest of you, when we leave away from here, we need to leave away from here today with what is going to happen next. What are the next steps? Not that we come down here and talk and you guys hope it die down and go away and we sweep it under the rug until the next time. Because I'm going to tell you, and this is from the Spirit of the living God, this city is a powder keg. And you cannot continue to oppress people, and they are going to rise up against you. Now, it was water before. This is very prophetic what I'm saying. But it's going to be fire next time. Now, we better quit playing games because we're talking about people's lives here. And a lot of these police officers should never have been hired. And I can name them, many of them myself. So, I'm going to buy the Village Blacksmith and read it. And I'm going to relinquish the podium.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your indulgence. Please don't make me have to come back.
I'd love to see you again.
I know, but
All right.
thank you.